Hey everyone, welcome to the FN Studios. I'm your host, John Ramdeen, and this is Fight News Now Extra. Robin Black will join me in a bit to discuss some of the coolest and most relevant topics in the MMA world. In the news today, the Cowboy is nuts but has a chance at redemption. The Mauler is tested ahead of his tilt with Rumble, and a former UFC heavyweight champion calls it a career. Former Bellator champion Eddie Alvarez has been forced to withdraw from his scheduled bout with former WEC and UFC 155-pound king Benson Henderson, which was set to go down on January 18th in Boston. Alvarez was hit with the flu and could not train and felt it was the best thing for his career. In for Alvarez will be Donald Cerrone, who is hoping third time is the charm, as Cowboy is coming off a unanimous decision victory over Miles Jury, but he lost to the former WEC champion in a 5-round war, and then he was submitted by the devout Christian at WEC 48 in April of 2010. Top-ranked Alexander Gustafsson has been tested for performance enhancers by the U.S. Anti-Doping Commission ahead of his main event bout with Anthony Johnson. The Mauler received a formal request from the Swedish government for the test and feels it is a good thing for the sport in general. The 27-year-old hopes that Johnson is tested ahead of the bout, which will headline the Big Fox show on January 24th in Stockholm. Gustafsson last saw action in March of 2014, defeating Jimmy Manuwa, while Rumble has been on fire since his return, going 2-0. And finally, former UFC heavyweight champion Tim Sylvia has retired from professional mixed martial arts after not being medically cleared to compete in Connecticut this past weekend. The Maniac won the UFC title against Rico Rodriguez at UFC 41, and over his career would garner victories over the likes of Ben Rothwell, Brendan Vera, and Andrei Arlovsky. Hey everybody, welcome to the FN Studios. I'm John Ramdeen, he is Robin Black. Coming up January 18th, Conor McGregor takes on the very dangerous Dennis Siver in the main event of the Fight Night card. And the co-feature was supposed to be Ben Henderson taking on Eddie Alvarez. Eddie Alvarez out. Donald Cerrone, after fighting on Saturday night, says, I don't give a rat's ass. I am in. I'm going to take out Ben Henderson. A nuts move, but this is typical. This is why real hardcore mixed martial arts fans love Donald Cerrone.
Wow, wow, that is crazy. It's even crazier than we think. You know, if you've really been around fighting a lot, if you've, guys who have fought, fighters, coaches, they know just how nuts this really, really is.
Well, the casual fans would say, well, he won the fight, he didn't get hurt, he didn't break his hand, so it should be okay.
15 minutes of winning a fight hurts so bad. All that stuff he was on his back and body triangles, his hips are sore, his knees are sore, his lower back. Winning 15-minute fights hurts, his hands hurt, those shins from blasting him, it all hurts. And Saturday night he's drinking some Budweiser, and Sunday he's eating some food, and Monday he goes, damn it, let's do this thing again, And it is crazy. You're going to make weight again. He was probably 175, 180 pounds by Monday. You're going to go make weight one more time. Everything hurts. He says, yeah, well, let's do this. And they give him the contract, and he takes out, oh, yeah. Yeah, the guy's a lunatic. You love him. And if he goes and he wins, he made 150 plus Budweiser money, maybe made two and a half. Make it again. They'll give him an extra bonus. He'll make $500,000 this month.
Now, when you talk about Eddie Alvarez, people say, well, Eddie Alvarez, this guy's got the flu. He pulls out. Donald Cerrone just had a fight. Eddie Alvarez, man up. But when you think about things, Eddie Alvarez, there was all that contract dispute coming over to the UFC. Bellator wanted to keep him. The UFC wanted him. And when he made that move over, there are no easy fights. Eddie Alvarez, you're faced up against the Wolves. And, he has that first fight against Donald Cerrone. Now this second fight with Ben Henderson. If he had the flu, which he says that he is, so we have to believe him, and he couldn't train for a week, does that really would it impact his performance up against Ben Henderson?
Yeah, there's all kinds of fighters. To be a fighter, a professional fighter, is 1 in 1,000 humans. To be a UFC fighter is 1 in 100 of those 1 in 1,000. And to be Donald Cerrone is 1 in 10,000 of those 100 of those 1,000. It's a very rare thing. And all fighters are different. And Eddie Alvarez is a machine. He's programmed, he's trained, he fights, he gets himself into the perfect state to be a fighting machine. That's who he is, George St. Pierre type. Donald Cerrone's a lunatic. We love Donald Cerrone, but Eddie Alvarez absolutely doing the right thing. You can't be sick and go fight. You must win fights. There's a lot of pressure on him to win, and when he wants to go in and perform next time, he wants to be one of the very best in the world. Both guys, you love Donald Cerrone for doing this, and you gotta respect Eddie Alvarez for doing what's best for his career.
For Donald Cerrone, is this the right move? I'm sure, you know, just the idea of, okay, I have another chance to beat Ben Henderson. But we're talking about arguably the biggest guy at 155 pounds. There's rumors that he's going to be going up to 170 pounds. He's had a full training camp. Now, I've heard a lot of fighters say, and we've talked about this, you know, I'm not concerned with what he's going to do. But it's part of the strategy and part of the game plan, and you have to imagine it's part of the training camp. For if you're getting ready for Ben Henderson, you know he's going to be taking you down. So is that part of it? Would you be constantly stopping takedowns, specifically working for the things that Ben Henderson is good at?
You should. I mean, most high-level fighters would. One of your questions, one of your points was, is this the right thing for Donald Cerrone? This is the wrong thing for every fighter in the world except for Donald Cerrone. Because Donald Cerrone has turned a corner where his mentality now, his mental state is, I don't give a f***. I don't give a f***. And it's working for him. It's working. Most people can't go in, but he has convinced himself nothing matters. It doesn't matter that I'm in pain. It doesn't matter that I'm just coming off a fight. It doesn't matter that I didn't train. None of this stuff matters. Donald Cerrone's mentality is, I don't give a f***. And that is working for him like crazy. Hey, man, it's hard to show up Conor McGregor. It's hard to be a bigger story than that, but this is how it's done.
But the thing about it is, for Donald Cerrone, we know that he likes money, he likes toys, he likes his boats and his ATVs. Is this a right decision in the sense that we all know how dangerous Ben Henderson is? Should you not have a full training camp when you're preparing for the former lightweight champion of both the WEC and the UFC?
Let's pretend. I'll pretend I'm Donald Cerrone. Ask me that again or something like that. Go ahead, ask me.
Will you take this on short notice?
I don't give a f***. That's what Donald Cerrone's attitude is, and it's working for him. If he wins this fight, dude, you want to fight for the title? You just beat 6 or 20 guys in a row, 2 of them in a couple weeks. You literally can do whatever you want. You want to fight for the title? I don't give a f***. He doesn't care, and he's going to make himself $500,000 this month. He will have fans for the rest of his life, and this is a cool story, man. This guy's the real deal.
All the F-bombs that he dropped. Beep. The bouncing ball over and over again. Donald Cerrone, it is one of the reasons why he is one of the most beloved fighters in all of mixed martial arts. He'll take a short fight notice against anybody. And that is it for us. Don't go anywhere. More Fight News Now Extra is coming your way.